Hi, I'm Laura Painter. You're watching a Dollars and Cents collection on the impacts of President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill on Californians. From a new temporary tax deduction for older Americans dubbed the senior bonus to a new tax change that could save parents of young children more when they file this upcoming year. I talk with experts about the important changes you need to know. We start with the new senior bonus tax break, which gives older Americans an up to $6,000 tax deduction. In tonight's Dollars and Cents, there's a new temporary tax deduction for seniors. It's being called a senior bonus. But do you qualify, and how much could you get? A Sacramento-based financial advisor I talked with breaks down the facts and explains what you need to know. A lot of viewers have been asking about this senior bonus. What does it mean and why does it matter?
I think the way President Trump positioned this was there's no tax on Social Security. And that's not exactly true.
So here's what you need to know. Signed into law last month, President Trump's big beautiful bill includes a senior bonus, meaning a new temporary standard tax deduction for certain people 65 and over.
So it empowers seniors to have a little bit more money, hopefully put back into their pocket.
The maximum deduction is $6,000, but the size of your deduction depends on your income. To qualify, you must be at least 65 by the end of the tax year and have a modified adjusted gross income of less than $175,000. But the deduction gradually reduces to potentially zero. If your income is more than $75,000 or $150,000 for joint filers, the deduction will phase out at a 6% rate. The deduction is fully phased out at $175,000 for single filers and $250,000 for joint filers. Why is there a tension for folks in retirement, people over 65, our seniors? Why is there a focus on them being able to keep more of their take-home pay?
To have the opportunity to save and invest more money by having more money put back into your pocket, especially as a senior, gives them the opportunity to not outlive, hopefully, the nest egg that they have, to have the ability to take more advantage of the Social Security income that's coming in.
Keep in mind, overall, seniors will still need to pay taxes, and the big beautiful bill does not eliminate taxes on Social Security benefits. Remember, this senior bonus is temporary. It's expected to last for the tax years 2025 to 2028. In the next few weeks, we're taking a deep dive into more tax benefits you could see thanks to the passing of the One Big Beautiful Bill. Next, we'll explore the increased child tax credit. Remember, your money questions have answers. Email me at lpainter@abc10.com and stream all of my Dollars and Cents stories right now on the free ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app. In tonight's Dollars and Cents, there are significant changes for the 2025 tax year, especially for families. Parents could now save more on their taxes because of the One Big Beautiful Bill Act.
We're all aware of how expensive childcare is and education is, and just simply putting food on the table for families.
Back in 2017, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act doubled the maximum child tax credit from $1,000 to $2,000 per child. As we told you in previous Dollars and Cents coverage, that act was set to expire at the end of this year. But the passage of the One Big Beautiful Bill this 4th of July made the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act permanent, locking in that doubled child tax credit starting in 2025 and further boosting the credit to a maximum $2,200 per child. The credit will also be adjusted for inflation starting in 2026.
So it might not sound a lot, but from a percentage standpoint, it's a huge increase.
Keep in mind, the changes to the child tax credit also come with more stringent Social Security number requirements. Your Social Security number, or your spouse's if you're married filing jointly, will be required along with the qualifying child's to claim the credit.
This isn't a deduction. This is an actual credit, which means dollar for dollar, you actually are getting this money back from the federal government rather than a deduction from your income.
Basically cash in their pockets?
And when it boils down to it, that's exactly right. And I think it's important for people to understand, and certainly the bill is very controversial for a myriad of different reasons, but specifically to the topic that we're talking about, more from the economics, could be a benefit to a lot of the ABC 10 viewers. I think there's absolutely no question that for most viewers, there should be more money in their pocket because of the reduction in their obligation to Uncle Sam at the federal level, and that's definitely a good thing.
So here's what hasn't changed. According to Jackson Hewitt Tax Services, the child tax credit is still partially refundable, up to $1,700. That means you could still get some money even if you owe. For example, if you owe $500 in taxes and qualify for the full $2,200 credit for your child, you will get up to $1,700 per child back as a tax refund. Remember, the conversation doesn't end here. We dive deeper into the new tax deductions and credits from the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, streaming now on our free ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app. And remember, your money questions have answers. Email me at lpainter@abc10.com.
We first talked about the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act a few months ago at the beginning of the year as something to watch for in 2025. It was scheduled to sunset at the end of this year. Right. Things have changed. It is now permanent. And there's some good news for taxpayers. Tell us about that.
Yeah, and I would say, Laura, it's probably permanent with a small dose of steroids, if you will.
Joseph Eshelman, president of Tower Point Wealth, says if the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act did expire at the end of this year, most Americans would have experienced significant tax increases.
It was going to revert back to the tax brackets prior to that legislation passing.
The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act was originally passed by Congress in 2017 under the first Trump administration. It substantially changed federal tax deductions, rates, and credits. Now, the current 7 federal income tax brackets instituted back in 2017 are not going away, and the income thresholds for each bracket are also being adjusted upward to account for inflation and cost of living increases.
The bottom line is if the liability of an ABC 10 viewer, of a person living in here in California, to the IRS is reduced, ultimately, that's putting more money back in their pocket.
Since 2017, tax filers and joint filing taxpayers have enjoyed the benefits of a higher standard deduction, which the act more than doubled. The Big Beautiful Bill raised the standard deduction even more, reducing taxable income for many households. Take a look. The One Big Beautiful Bill raises the standard deduction slightly from $15,000 for single filers and $30,000 for joint filers in 2025 to $15,750 for single filers and $31,500 for joint filers in 2026 and beyond, subject to inflation indexing.
Anytime we're able to realize additional cash flow and additional money in our pocket because we're paying less to Uncle Sam, I'm perhaps a bit biased as a financial advisor, but so much the better.
Eshelman says the larger standard deduction means more income staying in your pocket before taxes are collected. Eshelman says since 9 in 10 tax filers already use the standard deduction, this expansion increased the standard deduction's value further. The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act also capped the deductions for state and local taxes at $10,000 a year.
But the new Big Beautiful Bill actually increased the SALT to deduction from $10,000 up to $20,000 a year. So for a lot of ABC 10 viewers, a lot of Sacramentans, it's a huge increase in how much they're able to deduct off of their tax return and hopefully ultimately put back into their pockets to do with what they want.
Thanks so much for watching this Dollars and Cents collection. We're here 24/7 on the free ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app. You can get your local news and weather anytime, anywhere. I'm Laura Painter. Take care. I'll see you next time.